It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Joe Flacco makes NFL history. Meanwhile, back in the desert, the fallout continues for the Arizona Cardinals collapse in Tennessee. Welcome in a Tuesday edition of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Manuch off today, so it's just Roc and Jimmy B along with Laz and CC behind the glass, and we are coming to you live from the ESPN Phoenix studios in around 16th Street in Northern, our headquarters next to Arizona Sports and KTAR. So we welcome you for the next 3 hours, as this hour in particular, we will get into some sound from last night on Monday night. You also hear from Coach Jonathan Gannon. We will also have a little bonus sound, some baseball, as right now there's a rain delay in the Mariner game. So we will keep you up to speed on that one. Barry Bloom from Sportico, who used to be with MLB, will join us to talk some October baseball and the business side behind it. Some interesting stuff. There's some drama as the collective bargaining agreement is going to be coming around here in 2026, so next season. We will also, a little bit later, catch up with Kevin Turner, sideline reporter for Arizona State. Big Big 12 battle under the lights in Salt Lake City. So we will see. We'll talk to him about Arizona State taking on Utah. And then a little bit later, we'll get back into some Cardinals talk as Josh Feinstein, ESPN reporter for the Cardinals, will stop by. But let's get to where the history is. And it's Joe Flacco. Traded from the Browns to the Bengals in one of the rarest quarterback deals ever. He's 41 years old. He's a Super Bowl champ. Now will suit up for his third AFC team, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. And if you go back in history, and you got to go pretty far back, it's the first time since 1999 that the Browns and Bengals have made a trade.
Wow.
And that's huge. And the deal is the Bengals receive Joe Flacco and a 2026 sixth-round pick. The Browns receive a 2026 fifth-round pick. Mm-hmm. But this is only the third intra-division quarterback trade this century. That's why it's historic. You got to go back to 2001. Drew Bledsoe went from the Patriots to the Bills. And then 2010, Donovan McNabb went to the Eagles, or went from the Eagles to the Washington Redskins. So once Flacco starts, if he starts for Cincinnati, he will be the first quarterback in Super Bowl era to start for the Ravens, Browns, and Bengals.
And well, they're saying right now that they hope to get him in, and he hopes to play this weekend. That's what they're talking about.
Against Green Bay.
Yeah, here's an interesting side note. When you referenced Drew Bledsoe, he was sent to the Buffalo Bills from the New England Patriots. Yours truly was there covering the Bills at that time. Remember it well. And Bledsoe had two wide receivers, Eric Moulds and Peerless Price. And when he played that season, both wide receivers were over 1,000 yards in receiving.
You know, so Flacco's move not only shakes up the AFC North, but also cements his legacy as one of the most traveled and, I guess you could say, enduring quarterbacks of his era. I mean, for him to still be in the league, you know, is amazing at 41.
Right.
I just think it's huge. I mean, we all know, we talked about it yesterday, Jake Browning, 6 TDs so far this year in the air. He's got 8 interceptions. He's 0-3 in his starts. It's a big trade for Cincinnati. I'm surprised that the Browns did it, you know, the trade within the division, but why not? You got so many quarterbacks, so you knew they're going to have to unload some of them.
Well, they had to. And to be honest with you, when I just blanked on his name, the starting QB for Cincinnati, not Browning, the starter.
Joe Burrow.
Thank you. Joe Burrow. I just went blank. Old age.
So let me just get this straight.
Yeah.
We're 5 minutes in. Is this the theme today with you?
Old age? No.
Yeah, losing your Your
No,
thought process?
no.
Because if that's the case, lads, I need a 24-year-old in here.
I'll say this, Rock. When you have Jimmy B without Manuch, there's probably a better chance that he's more on track today.
Yeah.
Once Manuch gets in here and those two, man, they'll start rambling. It gets all over the place.
Oh, I can't even listen. I really
I'll tell him
can't.
from
I
behind
don't
the glass,
blame
and
I don't
It's
blame
like
you.
in
Hut one,
Manuch-
hut two.
And Manuch, who's probably listening right now, does not let Jimmy talk.
No.
I mean, he's like, it's like he got the keys to the car,
Yeah.
and he gets to go anywhere he wants. That's a bunch of BS. Because you have more tenure and more experience than Manuch does.
Well, I'm just
And
old.
you hold. Hey, Manuch ain't that far behind you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, my point that I was
Please.
was
As
going.
I would say to Manuch, land the plane.
Yes, I'm going to land it. I'm going to just tell you that they believe in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow out and hoping that he gets back. They're hoping that the Flacco deal will keep them in the hunt until Joe Burrow returns. 2 weeks ago, on this very world-class radio program, I said Bengals should call the Giants and see what Russell Wilson's doing, because I would have made a deal for Russell right away.
Before Flacco?
Before Flacco. I would have. I just think Russell still has capabilities that Joe Flacco doesn't have, particularly after I watched him play in that wild game that went to a tie at 40-40 with the Cowboys, and he was slinging it all over the yard. And you have to understand this. Look at Cincinnati's wide receivers, who you're throwing to.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, you're throwing to world-class guys.
You're drooling.
Yes. Yeah, so for me, I would have made that call 2 weeks ago and not waited till today.
So when it comes to here in the desert, the Cardinals are still reeling after blowing a 21-3 lead to the Titans. Jonathan Gannon apologized for his sideline blow up with DeMarcado. Kyler Murray called the loss how to lose a game 101, pointing to costly mistakes and penalties. But you add to the struggles. You got some guys that are hurt, which sucks. But when you look at the rest of the Arizona sports scene, all eyes are turned right now, I believe, if you're a football fan, to Arizona State on Saturday. Saturday night, Big 12 implications. That's a huge game. Also going on a little bit earlier at 5 o'clock, it'll be U of A. They get a chance to maybe defeat BYU. If you could beat an undefeated BYU, that'd be pretty big. It's Parents Weekend down in Tucson.
beaten again this weekend, and they would be 1-5. And that was like everybody's pick to win that division in the AFC as well. But look, Flacco, he knows the game inside and out. To be honest with you, Rock, I'm not sure how much he's got left in the tank. I thought that Russell Wilson would have been a better fit because we saw what he did against the Dallas Cowboys when they ended up in that tie at 40-40, and he was throwing bombs all over the place. But to be fair, they had to do something. And maybe the Giants weren't willing. Maybe if they made that call, maybe the Giants weren't going to say, okay, you can have Russ. So maybe that's what turned them to Joe Flacco. And it's a cinch what Cleveland's going to do here. Dylan Gabriel's their guy, and they're going to ride that guy. Look, this is totally different than what happened with Kurt Warner and the Giants when Eli Manning came in. Warner had the Giants with a winning record. They were 6-4, and they benched Kurt and then went with Eli Manning. This is a totally different scenario for the Cleveland Browns. So I think they have decided that, okay, Dylan Gabriel, we drafted him in the third round. He's going to be our guy. We can send Flacco to Cincinnati.
It's hockey time again as the 2025-26 NHL season drops the puck tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts with a triple header on ESPN. It'll open in Sunrise, Florida, where the defending Stanley Cup champion Panthers, they'll raise their banner as they host the Blackhawks. And then it's off to Madison Square Garden, where the Rangers and Penguins will go at it. Sidney Crosby entering what could be his final full season. So they're going to try and make another run with Malkin and some of the other stars that they have on that team. And then the nightcap is from LA as the Avalanche will visit the Kings. So when you look at the big picture, according to most analysts,
okay,
Vegas, Dallas, and Colorado are the early Cup favorites in the West, while the Panthers and Hurricanes are on the East. Keep an eye on the Devils, who added some goaltending and some speed. Toronto Maple Leafs, they got to do something.
They do.
But again, a lot of parity in this league. And it continues to always be parity, it seems like, when you look at the NHL. But it's sad that we don't have a team as hockey's back, the chase for the Cup. Every team's 0-0, and,
we got nothing.
We got nothing. I mean, I can't even watch the Utah Mammoths.
Oh, the Mammoth, yeah.
Mammoths, whatever the hell they are. I don't get that, but they're the Coyotes.
Well, no, the Mammoths were bigger than elephants, and they roamed to those mountain areas.
So they can skate on ice.
Maybe.
Anyway,
What do you think?
I like the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah,
I had no problem with that.
I thought it was okay.
The Utah Hockey Club worked, but
I was a fan of that. I know when we were going through it, we had to do like the polls and everything back when I was working those markets. It came down to the Black Diamonds was one of them. You had the Mammoths. And then some people were trying to put out like the Pioneers and things like that because of the Mormon and LDS. I don't know. I think the Mammoths, it works. It is what it is. But the Utah Hockey Club, it did have a nice aesthetic about it.
It did. I liked it. It was different. And, they're playing at Delta Center, which is the home of the Jazz. They're also owned by the same people from the Jazz, Ryan Smith and Ashley Smith. And then, here they got the new logo, and they're selling so much merchandise. They're selling out every game.
They are.
Their new hockey-specific arena is being built. It's a great market. It's bittersweet for us. 2 decades with a team that struggled, didn't matter where they played.
Right.
But
it was NHL, and we loved it.
I know. I just I don't think we're going to get hockey back.
All right, let me stop you there. Then what do you think? What do you think then of the new committee headed by Shane Doan's wife to try to resurrect hockey in the desert?
I'll support it. I will do everything in my power.
Okay.
We'll use this platform in any way we can possible. But unless a Jerry Colangelo type person comes rolling in to the Valley with just bags and bags of money and can make things move, hey, the area that it could have been,
yes,
the Cardinals jumped in and they're putting their training facility.
They are.
That could have been a nice place for this team. I'm not sure where else. If they can get in down at McKellips in the 101 on the Indian Reservation, that's a great spot. You got ingress, regress. I mean, it's an easy
in and out.
It could work, but I don't know, man. I was I'm still bummed about it.
I can tell.
Well, it was a big deal for us. I mean, when we were at 2 stations ago,
Right.
we jumped to the station that was carrying the games purposely because there wasn't a lot of people talking hockey. And, I think a lot of people love hockey. If you grew up from the East Coast like I did, and people in the Midwest, and especially people from Canada, it's unfortunate that a market as big as we are, we're the 5th largest market, 4th largest market in the country, and we don't have an NHL team. It's a bunch of BS. It's bad. We got mud on our face.
I was really disheartened when all of that went down and it fell through. Look, Alex Morello ran off with $1 billion, and
I can't fault him.
No,
making
it was
a business.
Yeah, it's a business.
He got in, he got out.
Yep.
He had. Damn it!
I know.
Hey, we encourage you next Monday to join us at Biggs American Bar and Grill. We're there every Monday. We broadcast from 1 to 4, and then we host the game right there in the P83, which is 83rd Avenue in Bell. It's an awesome sports bar. It really is. West Valley, and then halftime we roll the dough, meaning the dice, for $10,000. Next week it should be a good one. Bears at Commanders.
Yeah.
So Bears at Commanders. So. All right, we'll get into some college football talk as the playoff picture got flipped upside down after Penn State gets beat by an 0-4 UCLA team. And, of course, Texas stumbling at Florida. The Big 12 race is heating up. Arizona State, Utah, that's a showdown, which could decide who stays alive in the title hunt there in the Big 12. And how about BYU? They're kind of a wild card at 5-0. Texas Tech's right there. Cincinnati's surging. But Arizona's got an opportunity down in Tucson to knock off the BYU Cougars, which would be awesome. We're going to break it all down. But first, let's talk more about where we're going to be tomorrow, as we'll be at the Hub Grill and Bar in Ahwatukee. Here's Jimmy B with his favorite bar, the Hub Grill and Bar at Ray Road and 50th Street.
Going to stop there on the way home, as a matter of fact, have a little refreshment. Look, it's one of my favorite places. You should make it one of yours as well. It is the Hub Grill and Bar, Ray Road and 50th Street, where the community comes together for food, fun, and the big game. Now, here's the thing about the Hub that makes them a little bit different. They go the extra degree. You know the saying, at 211 degrees, water's hot. But at 212, it's boiling. That's the one extra degree that creates steam powerful enough to move a train. And that's the energy at the Hub, and they bring that energy every single day. Now, we're talking wall-to-wall, big screen TVs. You will never miss any of the plays, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, baseball, it doesn't matter. They have it covered for you. And for food, mouth-watering burgers, wings. Also, for libations, a great lineup of local and craft beer. Now, whether you're catching the game with friends, grabbing dinner with the family, or just stopping in for a weekend of brunch, well, the Hub makes you feel like a VIP. So head over to the Hub. We'll be there tomorrow, broadcasting the show from 1 to 4. It's the Hub Grill and Bar in Ahwatukee. Open for lunch, dinner, and brunch. The Hub, your neighborhood center of activity.
At Crest Insurance, we believe great insurance starts with great relationships. For years, we've been protecting businesses, families, and futures with the care and expertise you deserve. Our team knows what it takes to provide personalized solutions for your needs. We're here to make insurance simple, reliable, and stress-free. Visit crestins.com to see how we can protect what matters most to you.
Mondays belong to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Live from Biggs America Bar and Grill in Peoria. The guys broadcast every Monday from 1 till 4, right in P83, across from the Peoria Sports Complex at 83rd Avenue in Bell. Then stick around as they host that night's football game. Food, drinks, prizes, and a shot at cash. That's right. Each week, 20 fans get a chance to roll the dough for $10,000. $10,000 bucks. Mondays, Biggs Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Be there.
Looking for the center of activity? Welcome to the Hub Grill and Bar in Ahwatukee, where the community comes together for food, fun, and the big game. With wall-to-wall big screens, mouth-watering burgers, wings, and an incredible lineup of local and craft beers, the Hub is where every guest feels like a VIP. Find us at Ray Road and 50th Street in Ahwatukee, open daily for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. The Hub Ahwatukee, your neighborhood center of activity. Tired of the same old weekend routine? Then head to Putting World. Experience an elevated 18-hole golf adventure, followed by delicious eats, handcrafted cocktails, and live music at our chef-driven restaurant, Bar 19. Enjoy daily specials and happy hour deals that are sure to keep your wallet happy. Birdies, bites, and brews await. Check out this week's live music schedule at puttingworld.com or just swing on by Putting World, located in the Scottsdale Promenade. Eat it, drink it, sink it. Putting World.
Who wants to hit LA? Sign up for the Twin Peaks Gridiron Getaway, powered by Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Grand prize, 2 tickets to see the Cards at the Rams January 4th at SoFi Stadium, hotel at the Westin LA, and a $500 Visa card. Runner-up scores a $500 big game tailgate at Twin Peaks for you and 9 friends. Scan to score at Twin Peaks or text PEAKS to 59925 to enter. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views, and football dreams.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on their new home, ESPN 620.
Vision there. Daniels in traffic. C.J. Daniels dives for the end zone, and Miami big time flex on the road. Another explosive touchdown pass. And more taunting from Daniels.
Funny.
That's good stuff there. Miami 5-0. They control the ACC race after beating Florida State with a favorable schedule ahead. But as the college football playoff race took a dramatic turn this past weekend, the ripple effects could reshape the entire postseason picture. Mm-hmm. Fiesta Bowl, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, will have the semifinal this year. Last year we had the quarter, which is good. But the biggest shock, no question, has to be Penn State losing to a winless UCLA team. And that dropped the Lions to 3-2, completely out of the AP top 25. That likely ends their playoff hopes, which a lot of people had them as a team that could, be there at the end. It potentially opens the door for more SEC teams to crash the field, which we all don't like, at least some of us.
No.
And then meanwhile, you got Texas also falling out of the rankings with their loss to Florida. Suddenly the SEC's wide open. 11 of the 16 SEC teams already have a conference loss. Mm-hmm. But as many as 6 could be in the playoff mix if this chaos continues. So if you look at the projections right now, number 1, Ohio State, depends on who you're looking at, but Ohio State won. They rolled past Minnesota. Oregon, they were idle, but of course that's where game day will be with Indiana coming into town. Miami, as I mentioned, Ole Miss at 4. Mm-hmm. Off last week, but they remain in the SEC title hopes there too. And then some others that are in the hunt, Georgia, they face Auburn next. Texas Tech, that quarterback Morton looks really good.
Yes.
Georgia Tech also undefeated. They could make a playoff chase. How about Georgia Tech? Imagine Georgia Tech in a playoff.
Just remember this name, Haynes King, the quarterback. He's terrific.
Alabama faces a major road test at Missouri. And then Texas A&M kind of quietly, right there. They got a strong defense. Mm-hmm. With Penn State out, Michigan still kind of figuring out what they're doing. Looks like the Big Ten may send 3 teams, with the ACC, again, this is early, and the Big 12 could each land 1. But I don't care what you say about the SEC. I know so many of you can't stand it. they beat up on each other, and they have so much talent, and it's sad that they can have that many teams potentially in the mix, that being 6.
I'm going to push back a little bit on that. I don't think they get 6 in.
Okay.
I think that they eat their young. I think that is going to take place, and I think people will go crazy if they put an SEC team in that has 3 losses. I also found it interesting that Texas is already out of the top 25, along with Penn State. But the thing that I want to really keep an eye on is the Big 12. And Texas Tech is really good. They are as good as anybody in the Big Ten and as good as anybody in the SEC. And during the break, the commercial break, Rock and I would mention the fact that quarterback, Hoover, can really play. I mean, he is got it going on. And now you're hearing, because of NIL and all the big oil money that is in beautiful Lubbock, Texas, people are upset. They're upset that they're getting all those players to go there. Well, wait a minute. Everybody has NIL money.
Not
Arizona
to
State,
that level.
not to that level, but they have NIL money. And so kids are going to go where they believe, A, they can make a lot of money, and B, have a chance to play for a championship.
I got to tell you, with Texas Tech in the mix, as you mentioned, they'll be here in 2 weeks.
Yep.
If ASU beats Utah, and then they can handle those Red Raiders, the Devils could suddenly control their own destiny in the Big 12 race. Because if you look at this race, we're officially at the turning point of the Big 12 season. So it's starting to take shape. There's still plenty of change that can happen over the next couple weeks, but some programs that are already outside looking in. Oklahoma State, who lost to Arizona last week. West Virginia, they've been on a roller coaster. We talked earlier about Colorado, UCF, and even Manuch's Kansas State Wildcats.
Yeah.
They're most likely they're all out. They're not mathematically eliminated, but for now they are long shots. Now, when you look at the wild card, and Arizona's going to see them on 5 o'clock on Saturday, Parents Weekend, as the 5-0 BYU Cougars, one of the only 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the conference. So they got a big test there. I think this weekend could be big for them if they can knock off Arizona, but even bigger if Arizona can knock off BYU. That'll get them in the top 25. We'll get to Arizona State in a minute. We talked about Texas Tech, but it's Cincinnati. Don't sleep on Cincinnati.
Agreed.
Statement win over Iowa State. Bearcats are now a legitimate factor in the Big 12. They have winnable games against UCF, Oklahoma State ahead. They do have a road trip out to Utah, which is always tough. And they still got their finale, which is TCU. That could be the matchup that could decide the title in the division if something happens with Arizona State. We're going to dive into more Arizona State talk with Kevin Turner here in a bit, as that's the big one. Salt Lake City, nighttime. It's a hard place to play. The Sun Devils are unbeaten in Big 12 play, but the winner stays in the title hunt. The loser, I think you could probably say that they're out.
Okay.
To win the title.
I saw something online. Kenny Dillingham has a hose in his hand at practice. Sam Levitt is dropping back to throw, and Dillingham is soaking his arm and the football. The reason? They expect really bad weather in Utah.
Yeah, he was talking. Kenny was also talking about the fact that they expect that they could be in for a long night where the game could start. I think it's local 8 o'clock. It's 7:15 here, 8:15 there, and if it could start at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
it could be a late night, which would be something else. So I can't wait. It's gonna be a good one.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about that as Kevin Turner, the sideline reporter, will join us in just a few minutes. But 7:15 start. I think that ticket next week with Texas Tech is going to be a sellout.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
Do we know what time that game is yet? I'm sure it's too early, but if I hope it. I would like a 5 o'clock start.
Oh, you would? You wouldn't want like a 6 o'clock under the lights?
No, man.
I
I worry about me tailgating.
It's going to be a 1 p.m. It'll be the first day game of the season.
Really?
Wow.
So breakfast burritos and mimosas to kick off the Texas Tech. That works out good. All right, 1 o'clock.
Does that fit your time constraints,
Yeah,
Rock?
I got something I got to do.
About you.
I typically we're overseating, so
Yeah.
I can, so I'm not playing golf, so
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
And then
all about you.
Yep, and then got something going on at night. So
Okay.
all right,
Won't interfere.
This is going to work out pretty good. I think.
Good.
All right, it's a Big 12 battle under the lights. Salt Lake City, ASU, 8-game conference winning streak on the road. Utah team is favored by 5. Can Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson keep the Devils going, keep this magic going? And we are going to find out next as Kevin Turner, sideline reporter for the Devils, will join us. But first, here is Laz with another ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. We start on the diamond with Game 3 of the ALCS between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers was scheduled for 1 p.m. but has yet to get underway due to a weather delay, with that series tied at 1 apiece. Over in the Bronx, the Toronto Blue Jays will look to finish off a 3-game sweep of the New York Yankees, the first pitch of that one set for 5:08 p.m. In the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals are still reeling from their historic collapse against the Tennessee Titans. They'll now look to regroup and turn the page as they head to Indianapolis to take on the red-hot 4-1 Colts this Sunday. Make sure you get in our Twin Peaks Gridiron Getaway. Your chance to win tickets to Cards at Rams in LA, hotel, travel cash, plus the runner-up gets a $500 Twin Peaks Big Game Party. Scan the QR code at any of the 5 Twin Peak lodges or just text Peaks to 59925. That's Peaks to 59925.
There's never been a better time to experience Sun Devil football.
Pressure coming. Levitt throwing for the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Jordan Tyson. The Levitt to Tyson connection clicks again.
Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action, tradition, and unmatched atmosphere at Mountain America Stadium this season. Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per-person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with a perfect plan to ensure everyone's well-fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venencias.com.
Hey, it's Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, trusted across Arizona for helping injured people after serious car wrecks.
And I'm Sean Forrester, managing attorney at Lerner & Rowe Law Group. We may sound alike, but Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a completely separate firm focused solely on criminal defense. We handle serious felonies, DUIs, and misdemeanors with decades of courtroom experience. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call Lerner & Rowe Law Group now at 602-977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G protein bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G protein bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Living with a neurological condition can make everyday tasks feel overwhelming. Whether it's stroke, Parkinson's, or multiple sclerosis, you don't have to face it alone. Physical therapy helps people with neurological conditions regain strength, improve balance, and enhance mobility. With personalized therapy plans, a PT will focus on what you need to live life with confidence. Step by step, you can regain independence and reclaim your life. Visit aptaaz.org and find a physical therapist near you.
It's time for your weekly Dos Equis Sun Devil Report. Powered by Backyard, Desert Ridge and Gilbert. With live DJs, reverse happy hour, and every ASU game this fall, it's Forks Up at Backyard, the Valley's ultimate game day destination. Stay locked in. Your Sun Devil Report starts now.
There's the snap. Hoover drops back. Here comes the pressure, and he goes down. The ball's out. The ball's out, and I think Arizona State has it. The Sun Devils have recovered the fumble. Hoover was sacked. Prince Dorba.
Thank you to Arizona Sports for the highlight there. It is indeed a road game, and weather may be a big factor this coming Saturday night at Utah for ASU. Welcome back, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2. Always at this time, Kevin Turner, our guest, ASU sideline reporter. Kevin, it's Jimmy B and Roc today. Welcome, pal, as always. I will fire the first salvo. I don't know if you have seen this online yet or not, but at practice, Kenny Dillingham had a hose in his hand, and every time Sam Levitt would drop back to pass, he would hose down Levitt's arm and the football in preparation probably of playing in bad weather this coming Saturday night. Have you seen that before? Did that ever happen when you were playing?
Oh, 100%. You've got to be always, and that's the hallmark of Kenny Dillingham, is always be prepared, just like the Boy Scouts. But what you can't prepare for is maybe the wind and how that influences the flight and trajectory of the ball, and then the temperature at kickoff. I'm looking at the weather app right now, 46 degrees. So wet ball, cold, and wind is not a quarterback's best friend.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Kevin, when you look at Sam Levitt and his confidence, you've watched him grow in this offense. How is he handling the noise and pressure of a road environment when it comes to one of the Big 12's best defenses in Utah?
Well, we saw a great illustration of how he handled two 17-point deficits, one at Mississippi State where he rallied the Sun Devils back, only to lose that game on the defensive side in the last 46 seconds of that game, and then the outstanding job he did in a hostile environment at Baylor. And then you saw we outscored TCU at home last week when we had to have it 27-7. So last week, he just seems to get better every week. He's getting more comfortable, a lot more confident with his second level receivers, and not just having to rely on Jordan Tyson. So there's some additional chemistry that needed to be developed, that has been developed with the receiving core and the running back. So it's good to see that maturation take place. And he's a guy that, you just go back to look at his DNA. He wants to compete and win at everything. And I was listening to Kyle Whittingham's presser this week, and he said what really impresses him about ASU is that these guys, when they have to have it late in the game, these guys are playmakers and they're executing down the stretch. And that's what really concerns Kyle Whittingham about this Sun Devil team, is that no matter what the deficit is, they believe they're always in the game. And for most of this season, they've been able to execute down the stretch. And that's what you look for in your leader and your quarterback.
Tyson's connection with Levitt has been just lethal. It's amazing. It's fun to watch. How banged up are they with the running game, knowing that the secret's out with these two guys, of course? So what do you expect when it comes to the weather and what they may need to do with the running game?
Well, you've got to be able to establish the run, because that sets up everything else. That sets up your play action, your screen, your draw. Then when they bring, guys up to protect and they drop a safety down to add an extra defender in the box, that's when you take the opportunity for your shot play and your explosive. So critical for us to be able to establish the line of scrimmage, move, and I think you're going to see some more formations. I'd like to see, obviously, greater productivity in the low red zone. That's been an enigma for us. You know, and I was thinking, going back a few years ago, what seems to work when you're having trouble getting push and there's not a lot of space is just to widen your splits and then shift in motion. Now, you can't necessarily do that on the road in a hostile environment where it's loud because you've got cadence issues. You don't want to have procedural penalties. You don't want to have delay a game, but I would expect to see ASU, and I haven't watched their practice, so this is just what I would do to increase our low red zone productivity, and that's inside the 10-yard line, specifically inside the 5, is widen our splits and give our offensive linemen opportunities to leverage the defensive linemen, and then give our smaller backs opportunities to get in those gaps and seams and get into the end zone.
Kevin, having talked to you for a couple of seasons now, I know how much you prepare for your sideline duties. So my question to you is, you most likely looked at what Texas Tech did to Utah. And by looking at that film, because they dominated the Utes in that game, are there some things that you could take away from looking at that film and attribute that to the way ASU will have to play Saturday night?
Well, to me, what Joey McGuire and Texas Tech and Baron Morton's did a really good job with was sequencing and setting up and being unpredictable and not getting into a rote sequence. So I thought they did a really good job, integrating all the elements of their offense versus just being, one-dimensional. What I will tell you, though, is I think that score would have been, everybody talks about, well, Utah was in that game late in the fourth quarter, but remember this, Texas Tech had 14 penalties. They shot themselves in the foot so many times in that game. Utah only had 2 penalties, yet they were still in the game with about 7.5 minutes left. But if we can turn over Utah, Kenny Dillingham is 13-0 when we win the turnover battle under the Kenny Dillingham era. Utah had 4 turnovers in that game. So for me, the important thing is to keep Devin Dampier kind of in the cage, in the box. You cannot let him get outside and throw off schedule. And plus, he's so crafty and fleet of foot. He'll tear you up. But he does have a propensity to throw interceptions. Last year, he had 12 interceptions at New Mexico, but he's got his kind of his security blanket that he brought with him from New Mexico, Ryan Davis, who's averaging 7 receptions a game. So it's very important to keep him under wraps. And last week at West Virginia, they were 8 for 8 in third down conversion. So we've got to be able to get off the field, but we can't be too exotic and run past the quarterback in pressure situations. So we've got to do a good job disguising our coverages, get him to think and get him to reload, but keep him in that box. The same way we did, last year with Noah Fafita, an undersized but nimble athletic quarterback at U of A. We kept him in the cage, and it's hard to throw over defensive linemen when you're 5'10". So if we can keep him in the cage, don't overrun, don't over pursue, I think we've got a really good shot at neutralizing their potent offense.
My follow-up question then would be, do they spy him once in a while, not throughout the whole game? Huh?
I would. Why wouldn't you? Because we've got the talented and the speedy linebackers with Jordan Crook, and why wouldn't you? I think he would be my guy, my number one go-to to be the spy against Dampier, because he's quicker and he's more athletic. And so I would identify Crook as my spy, not all the time, but it would, especially on third down situations where he has a propensity to pull it down, versus Keyshawn Elliott, which is more of a kind of an A-gap, thumper, that can come downhill pretty hard. But I would leave Crook in open space as the spy.
Kevin, we've been doing this a long time. I've been on air over 21 years covering the Sun Devils, and I can't remember a season where it seems like every week the game feels like a prove-it moment for Sun Devil football. I know that's a good thing, but But am I out of line by saying that? Because the Pac-12 was always big too, but I couldn't remember every week talking about, man, this is it. This is the game. They got to prove it against TCU. They got to prove it against Baylor, and they keep continuing to prove it. So is this a prove it game once again?
I think so, because we've been pretty anemic. I think Utah's won the last 4 out of 5 and the last 3 in a row at Rice-Eccles. So we got to go in there and neutralize that crowd. So, yeah, I think it's very much one of those, what have you done for me lately? And I think that's just kind of the DNA of how this conference is made up. There's no easy out from top to bottom, which makes it for compelling and must-watch TV versus, back in the old Pac-12 days, we'd go up to, Cal, and it was kind of like you knew that was going to be a W.
Yeah.
Oregon State. There were teams that you knew you were going to win those games. And I've been around Sun Devil football, since 1981 and started following them in 1975. So, and I remember a time and place where we pretty much dominated Utah, but that's just no longer the case. And I have just the utmost respect, as most people do, for what Kyle Whittingham's done up there in 21 years. Sustained excellence. He's done it the right way. High character kids, develops players extraordinarily well. Kids that get degrees. So he is the archetype in my mind for long-term sustainability. And he's been a big influence on Kenny Dillingham, and Kenny's reached out to him, and his advice to Kenny is just, look, don't panic, stay true to your core principles and don't waver. And that helped out Kenny tremendously, especially after his first year. And, Kyle does talk about the relationship that he has. And obviously we know how much Kenny respects Kyle and his craft and professionalism. And, it's going to be fun to see these guys in a chess match on Saturday night, despite what the weather might be.
Kevin, as always, man, thanks for the time, and stay warm up there in Utah.
Will do, guys. Forks up. Go Devils.
There you go. That's Kevin Turner, sideline reporter. You'll hear on 98.7 or ESPN 620 and 98.7 HD2 as the Devils and the Utah Utes is the ASU. They go into this 8-game conference win streak, which is the longest in the Big 12. Utah's 15-2 at home since joining the Big 12. When you talk about, he mentioned, the Sun Devils had their number for a while.
They did.
Well, it's not the case in the last few years, as Utah leads the series 25-23. But ASU won last year by a field goal, so I think it's going to be a very close game. I know Utah's favored by 5, but I do think it'll come down to the wire in this one. So looking forward to that. He is brought to you by our watch party this Saturday, backyard in Gilbert. Thanks to Dos Equis. We'll be there at 7 o'clock. For the game. We got incredible Dos Equis drink specials, and then 25 people will be selected to roll the jumbo dice for their chance to win $10,000. Yes, $10,000 will be at the Backyard Gilbert. Yes, we've done Desert Ridge twice. We'll do, I think we will be back for the Iowa State game, I believe, November 1st, I believe it is, at Desert Ridge. But Gilbert this time around, so hopefully you can come out and join us. So, all right, what a weekend. Trevor Lawrence, he stumbles in to get the game winner. When you look at this week in the NFL, we're going to get into some of those games. 6 double-digit comebacks and a major spring football shakeup. We will get into that next. It's Roc and Manuch right here on ESPN Radio 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
It's time to make plans to join Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B for another Dos Equis Sun Devils watch party. ASU hits the road to face Utah Saturday, October 11th at Backyard Gilbert. This is your ultimate tailgate. Elevated bar favorites in the game on massive LED walls. And at halftime, 25 fans get a shot to roll for dough for $10,000. See you there, Sun Devil fans. All season long at Backyard Desert Ridge and Backyard Gilbert.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com.
The right price, the right selection, all at righttoyota.com.
Summer is just around the corner. Is your roof ready for the monsoon season? Well, now's the perfect time to call State 48 Roofing for a free roof inspection. Don't wait until you're dealing with a leaky roof in the scorching heat. Protect your home today. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. Keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing, the #1 referred roofer in Arizona. Proudly serving the Arizona residential and commercial markets for over a decade.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
All month long, celebrate National Dessert Month with sweet endings like our Cinnamon Toast Crunch, cheesecake topped with rum chata sauce, or the Twin Peaks Sundae with vanilla ice cream and a warm Ghirardelli brownie. Pair it with a screwball peanut butter whiskey for the ultimate game day finish.
Hey, it's Gambo, and joining me today is Stuart Willis from Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, let's cut right to it. Why do people here in Arizona need a living trust?
Because, Gambo, without a trust, your estate goes through probate, which means it's the courts that decide who gets your money, not you. It's expensive, it's public, and it can drag on for months or years.
What else does a trust do?
A trust also maintains your family's privacy, helps reduce estate taxes, and most importantly, makes sure the right people inherit your assets exactly the way you intended. Our trusts are an estate planning portfolio that include durable power of attorneys, healthcare POAs, living wills, and pour-over wills.
And just for my listeners, if you allow Asset Preservation to do a portfolio review with $250,000 or more of investable assets, they will set you up for a trust for just $9.99. Call 602-877-PLAN or go to AssetPreservationWealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
2nd and 8. Lawrence steps through, wants to go. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence, what a bizarre stumble, turned, got up, touchdown that capped a 31-28 Jacksonville win. Earlier in the game, Devin Lloyd took a ball 99 yards for a pick six, which basically shifted the momentum as the Chiefs fall again. And Patrick Mahomes admitted that, we've lost too many games already, and they've been blowing leads, and they're still in it, right? They're still in it.
Well, I'm not concerned about the Chiefs. I'm not. They were in that game. Their defense just struggled. You have to remember before the wild play down by the goal line where Lawrence ran it in, he threw an unbelievable touch pass of about 35 yards to the wide receiver right on the sidelines, who made a wonderful catch and kept both feet in. So if you're going to go back and say, well, the Chiefs are struggling, no, they're not struggling. Their offense put a lot of points up on the board. It was their defense that gave up that one big play and then the wild play down on the goal line. Come in.
I was just going to say, guys, I think there's got to be some credit to be given to Travis Hunter. Every time in that game, it felt like when they needed to get a conversion, if it had to be a first down, it felt like Travis Hunter was a guy that they kept going to. But for some reason, they won't feature him in the offense. It's just,
well, they did.
It blows my mind.
Play. They featured him on that one play, and he made a marvelous catch.
He just watched him. You could tell he's better than everybody else.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He's so good.
But you're right. They're not using him. I mean, it sounds similar to what's going on here in Arizona with Marvin Harrison Jr., right? How do you not use your superstar? How do you not put him in as much as possible?
I'm with you.
It was a wacky, wild week in the NFL. They saw 6 teams overcome deficits of 10 or more points to win. The first time since 2013. I think that's just gigantic when you really look at that. If you missed it, if you're just getting out of work, Joe Flacco has been traded to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think if you made a bet, like you just got off the airplane and you're not on your phone, and you say Joe Flacco got traded, there's probably 30 teams. 31 teams. Yeah. You would have said 30 teams. You would have said before the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm with you on that. Look, they don't make interdivision trades. Earlier in the show, you referenced the last time that they have taken place. It just doesn't happen.
1999.
Yeah, just doesn't happen. And this is bizarrely interesting. And I'll now rehash just a little bit. 2 weeks ago, I brought up that they should have gone after Russell Wilson with the Giants because the Giants benched him in favor of Jackson Dart. But they didn't. They wanted to ride with Jake Browning, and Browning has just been god-awful. I can't sugarcoat it. He's been awful. So now you're 2-3, the Cincinnati Bengals. The division is still wide open. The first place team are the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had a bye week this past week. So there's plenty of time to play yourself back into the division and to be in the hunt for a playoff spot until Joe Burrow gets healthy and gets back. You had to go get somebody who could walk in and play right away. This bizarrely reminds me a little bit, Rock. Remember the Monday night game with the Rams, and they signed Baker Mayfield, and Baker'd been there 2 days and came in late in the second half and took the Rams down the field right away like he knew the entire playbook, and he throws up and he throws the winning touchdown pass with only a few seconds remaining. This is bizarrely similar to what Joe Flacco is now going to encounter because they want him to play this Sunday.
Some other football news for those of you like Manuch that love the UFL. That's United Football League.
Yeah, if you didn't know.
They are making their biggest overhaul yet for the upcoming season as they have added 3 new teams, 3 franchises. Memphis, Detroit, and San Antonio are on their way out, and they're going to be replaced by the Louisville Kings, the Orlando Storm, and the Columbus Aviators. So they'll join Birmingham, St. Louis, and the DC Defenders. So you lose a couple teams or cities, and their average attendance was about 12,000. The average stadium that they were playing in is about 52,000. So they made some switches. So now 6 of the 8 teams will play in more like a soccer venue, which is under 25,000 when it comes to the capacity. So you'll have a better atmosphere and maybe better visuals. So I think that's a good move.
Yeah, I like it. Look, they're not going to draw big crowds. We know that.
We also found out I'm gonna have to get a new sweatshirt, but the the Houston Roughnecks. They are reverting to their historic Houston Gamblers brand.
Days of Jim Kelly at quarterback.
Houston Gamblers.
Wow.
The Arlington Renegades become the Dallas Renegades, and they are relocating to Toyota Stadium.
Okay.
So what does this all mean? I mean, it just means it's spring football. Smaller venues. They're hoping to get the brands going. They're trying to be in markets that have fewer sports distractions.
Good idea.
So maybe they'll get a better fan experience, but that's a tough one, man.
Well, the NFL is king, Rock. We always talk about that.
I understand it, but people love football, right?
They do, yes.
And, maybe moving into smaller stadiums.
I think that's a smart move.
And if they can start maybe promoting more on the guys that played in the UFL that are now in the National Football League.
Yes.
There are a few.
There are.
Oh, anyway. And then finally, the University of North Carolina football program.
Yeah.
Their season-long documentary with Hulu is no longer happening.
Wait, what? I was looking forward to that on Bill Belichick?
Yeah, they were going to do a documentary with the UNC football program, go behind the scenes, see, first-year head coach Bill Belichick, his girlfriend. So they announced the plan back in August, and they did it on social media. But this team's 2-3 through 5 games. They've been outscored by power conference opponents 120-33.
Can they schedule Savannah State? They might have a chance in that game. Look, I thought it would be better than what it is. I really did. I don't know if when Belichick got there, and it seemed like he did all the necessary things, getting a general manager so that he didn't have to mess with the NIL stuff. I thought it was going to work out, but it hasn't yet.
I was watching Colin Cowherd today, and he said from multiple sources that the head coach and the GM is not working, in that there are the fans, the players, the front office, nothing is working.
Wow.
This thing could be a one-hit, not wonder, but it could just be one and done.
Yeah. I can see that.
I think we all kind of thought, man, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Why does Bill Belichick want to be in college? Maybe it's just a ploy because he brought his whole family's there practically, right?
Well, you have to remember, too, that he was there. His dad was an assistant coach. So, he probably felt somewhat comfortable in that surrounding. But the college game has changed so drastically since he had anything to do with college that I don't know if it totally caught him off guard or if the people that he brought in, it just hasn't worked out.
One more story as we do our football at 50. Odell Beckham Jr. has accepted a 6-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing drugs.
Uh-oh.
So I guess we're not going to see him back.
I didn't even know he was playing.
He was a member of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
He's a free agent, but he failed the test last year as a Dolphin.
Okay.
So
he needs the Wizinator.
Yeah, he needs something.
Remember that? The
Wizinator?
Wizinator?
I remember that, yeah. He's 33 by the time he will be 33 by the time that this suspension ends. We'll keep going with the football talk. By the way, Football at 50 is brought to you by Twin Peaks, and this Thursday's Eagles-Giants game, we'll kick it all off this Thursday at the Twin Peaks in Tempe. Pint specials at all 5 locations. You can get you all the action at your local Twin Peaks Lodge. Josh Weinfuss from ESPN. We'll dive into all of it with him. Kyler Murray called how to lose a game in 101. He's not wrong. We'll talk about the meltdown and everything else, the fumble, the offense, the defense. He'll break it all down with us.
I'm going to get upset.
Yeah. Jimmy B's ready because we have do we have sound of Drew Pensick? Or we just have some quotes from Drew Pensick?
I have the quotes. I don't know. We'll look for the sound during the commercial.
Okay.
But I have the quotes.
You going to help with that?
Who, me?
Hour 3 next.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at arizonasports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Brissett takes, hands it off. DiMercato up the middle, got the first down and more. Off to the races, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. All the way for the touchdown. 72 yards on 3rd down and 1. DiMercato with the house call.
After review, the ruling on the field is a fumble forward through the end zone for a touchback. It'll be first down at the 20-yard line from Tennessee.
It's hard not to laugh at that.
I had to chuckle, too.
I mean, I did, too.
Yeah.
It's just sad. But anyway, joining us now to talk some Arizona Cardinals. He is the ESPN reporter for the Cardinals. You can follow him on X at Josh Weinfuss. And that is Josh, who joins us now on the Right to It guest line here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. How we doing today, Josh? What's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, I am great. Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on with us. We'll start with the one you just heard with DiMercato. How do you expect him to bounce back from what will be one of the most infamous plays in football history, I think?
What was the first part of that question?
How do you see him bouncing back?
So it's interesting. Like I said this earlier to a friend, actually. Like if there's 53 people on the roster, he probably would have been like 53rd on who I would expected to have done this. He's just very just stoic, very kind of composed, just kind of one of these guys that you can tell talking to him for a few years has his act together. I was shocked. And I think if anybody could come back from this pretty easy, him. I think he understood the gravity of it. I was kind of watching on the sideline, and at one point, a smile crept across his face. But it wasn't one of those like funny smiles. It was one of those like, you got to be kidding, right? Like,
yeah.
I just think he's just built mentally to handle it. I can't imagine what he's kind of the wrath that he's facing right now. But I think from what how I've gotten to know him a little bit over the last few years since he's been with this team, like I just feel like he has that personality to not let it bother him.
Okay.
Whether there might be different internally, but externally is kind of how I see it.
My follow-up question to that, because of the situation, was what took place on the sideline with Gannon. And then Gannon comes out in the press conference and says, hey, I apologize to him and to the team. What the hell is he apologizing for? Look, I've been covering this game for a long time, longer than there was dirt on the field. I've been alive.
Yeah.
Why would he apologize? There was no need to apologize. It's man to man. You made a mistake, own up to it, and then get over it.
Yeah, I think the parts that really was sticking in people's craws was the physical contact. I don't think anyone cared they got in his face. Like I think people expected that.
Yeah.
I think, in the way that Jonathan responded, we have never seen that from him in 3 years. He's always tried to be this even-keeled guy. And he's kind of hung his hat on that. And obviously the way that game was going, it just, the way the last 3 games have gone, you can tell there's a lot of emotion boiling up in him. And obviously it exploded in that. But to me, it seems like he was apologizing for touching him. Like to me, there's no place for that, right? Like, you don't touch a player doesn't touch a coach. Getting his face, I don't care about. Yell at him, scream at him, call him every name in the book. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he touched him, I think that's where I think some people see the line as being crossed. And to me, that's what the apology was for.
Okay. I'm glad that you clarified then what you felt it was about. I want to play something, and I hope you can hear it clearly down the phone. This is the offensive coordinator, Drew Pensing, talking about Kyler Murray and also talking about the third down play when it was 3rd and 8, and they ran a running play. Here is Pensing on there are no checks on that play.
There are times where he has checks. He did not have one there.
Why not?
Just the play that came in did not have a check on.
What percentage of the plays does he not have a check on?
I mean, that would be very different from game to game.
All right. Now I'm really upset. This guy's been playing 7 years. Every quarterback, if you're in the 7th year and you're supposed to be the stud of the team and you're the starting QB, you should be able to check if you see something there where you can visualize that the original play call is not going to work. Am I all wet here? Because if I am, lay it on me.
No, you're not. I was actually a little surprised by that answer. The way I always understood this offense is that they have caution checks on every play, and obviously that's wrong, right? I was not expecting that answer from Drew today because of kind of how I've understood this offense to be built. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, especially with a guy like Kyler, like you said, he's been in this league 7 years. He's a veteran. He's very football savvy. He's a very high football IQ. I think that giving him that authority to just make these plays, I kind of expected that to be on every play, but apparently it's not. So I was a little surprised by that. But I do think that to some degree his foot injury played a part in this, right? Like Jonathan Gannon said it yesterday, that they had to take some things out of the game plan after Kyler came back from his foot thing. I asked Pensing about it too. He said there were things that they had to go look at and basically realize they weren't able to run those because of Kyler's issues. So maybe that played into it, but I was surprised as anybody to hear that there are plays that don't have checks on.
Josh, Kyler called this one of the worst losses of his career. Do you sense that this could be a turning point for him as a leader, or just more frustration just boiling over here?
He actually called it the number one loss of his NFL career.
Yes.
Yeah,
Worst
it was.
loss, yeah.
So that's how bad it was, right? And for him to say that, like that's bad, right? That's real bad. I don't know. Like it's honestly too early to tell. Like, call me back in 3 weeks and I'll have an answer for you, because this is one of those losses that's either going to go two ways. Like, this is going to tank this season, right? Like, this was the puncture of the balloon and it's going to deflate for the rest of the year. Or they're going to be like, okay, like, we need to turn this around because we're tired of feeling like this. Now, going against a red-hot Colts team is not the best way to fix that. And then you have the Packers coming up, and then you have the bye after that. It's not – these aren't the two best games to try to get back on track, right? But here's the thing. Like, this team, I think they have the firepower to do it. We've seen that. We've seen them do whatever they want offensively, and then we've also seen them do absolutely nothing offensively. So, like, which team's going to show up? We don't know. I feel like this is a question I've been asking for like 3-4 years now. Going back to Kingsbury, we had no idea which team was going to show up with Cliff either. So, but they have the defense to play well, right? This is a very good defense. And now it's the offense, right? To me, this whole rest of the season is on the offense. They need to figure themselves out. And if they can be consistent, if they can put games away, they can get those first downs, those key first downs late in games. Like, this season could turn around. But if they can't, it's going to be a long year, because this defense is good, right? Like, from front to back, it is a solid unit. They've been doing their part, but after a while, you get worn down, right? Like, you're on the field so much, there's only so many plays you can make with tired legs, and there's only so much depth you have as a unit. So I just feel like at some point this offense is going to either have to click for all 4 quarters, or it's just going to be one long year.
All right, then I'll follow up then, since we're discussing defense and offense. On the offensive side, why does it seem, at least in the game this past Sunday, that Marvin Harrison Jr. was MIA?
I mean, he wasn't in the first quarter and a few minutes, right? Like, he was an incredible first quarter. They went to him early. And I think what's interesting is I asked Pensing about this today. My question was, does he notice that teams start playing the Cardinals differently after Marvin kind of has some big plays? And he said yes. He said they've shifted the Titans kind of shifted some coverage his way. They kind of retooled some things that they weren't doing earlier. So I was curious as to, like, then why don't you figure out ways to get the other guys involved? Unless there's just not enough talent around Kyler, Marvin, and Trey McBride to make that happen, which I think is a legitimate question. So, I mean, why Marvin has why does he go MIL? I think is a good question at some point. I don't know, right? Like, I think that's just a product of they need to feed him. And as you know, coaches don't like to do that. They don't like to admit that they're doing it. They don't like to do it. But I think at some point you need to give him routes, consistent routes that are going to get him open, whether that's a slant, whether that's, you know, mixing with some go balls. Just do some things, or maybe you go away from him for a few plays and come back to him, like kind of, you know, lull the defense to sleep. I don't know what it is, but you need to keep him involved, because once teams realize you're not going to him, they kind of just stop playing him like they were early in the game. So it's an issue. It's been an issue for a year and almost season and a half almost. And if I had the answer to that, I'd be an offensive coordinator.
He's ESPN reporter Josh Weinfuss with us. Josh, when you look at this team and maybe the locker room and the big picture, how close is this team to, like, losing confidence in the coaching staff, considering they've lost or they've blown 3 straight games at the buzzer?
I don't think we're there yet. I think it's more of a outside narrative, right? I think it's created by social media and all this other talking head stuff. I don't think they're there yet. Now we come back in like for 3-4 weeks, and if we're looking at, you know, 2-7, 2-8, 3-7, whatever it is, this might be a different conversation. But there's still only 2-3, right? Like, a lot can happen. I think that, you know, people started to kind of pull the fire alarm after week 3, and I'm like, well, it's 3 games, guys. They're still 2-1, then obviously 2-2, and now 2-3. 3-game losing streaks aren't good. 4-game losing streaks are even worse, and 5-game losing streaks are brutal. So let's get to the bye. Let's see how we're doing, how they're doing in the bye, and then kind of we can reassess. But right now, I don't think this locker room has lost faith in this coaching staff. But there's still time, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, there is time. Yeah. Hey, how good are the Colts in your estimation with what Daniel Jones has been doing there?
I mean, what did Bill Parcells say? You're as good as your record says you are, right? They're pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I think Jones has figured out how to be a quarterback. I think getting out of New York helped a lot of people and helped him. I think this Colts team is going to give the Cardinals a lot of trouble. I mean, they're a buzzsaw right now. You don't want to run into that as a team on a 3-game losing streak. So what we saw with the Titans, right? Like, they came in winless, and it's either kind of put up or you don't, right? And I think the Cardinals are either going to have to play the game of their lives to get back on track, or they're going to get cut in half.
Josh, Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Did you predict that?
I did not. It was funny because I asked, I was like, how many players, or I don't think there's been a player that's been in all 4 teams in a division. And we were kind of just talking about it in the press room today. And I think the one name that came to mind was Mike Iupati, who was an offensive lineman here. He played for the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. But it's 3 teams in one division.
It's crazy. And then to
get
a lot of
traded.
Yeah, it is a lot of jerseys. Yeah.
Donovan McNabb, he went from the Eagles to Washington in the same division. And the only other quarterback is Drew Bledsoe, who went from the Patriots to the Bills. So this doesn't happen very often.
I mean, here's the thing, like a guy like Flacco, he's great for any locker room, right? He's been around for a while. He's won a Super Bowl. Even if he doesn't play, he can mentor these young quarterbacks. And I think that, honestly, like, being around this game for as long as I have, like, that's what every team needs. They need a Joe Flacco on their team to help young guys. And I mean, if we can get into it with Kyler, like, he didn't have that early on. Right. And I think that, you know, I know there are people in the building now that truly believe that was an issue for him early on, as no one really was there to be like, hey, this is how you should be a pro. And I think Joe Flacco brings that to locker rooms. I think Kyler, he needed that, and he's kind of getting that a little bit now with Jacoby Brissett, because Brissett can be that buffer, and Kyler didn't have that, especially with Cliff Kingsbury, and he needed it.
Josh, thanks for jumping on with us, man. Have a good week, and we'll catch up with you here in a week or so. Appreciate your time.
Sounds good. Absolutely.
Thanks,
That's Josh Weinfuss joining us, ESPN reporter, ESPN.com. You can follow him on X at Josh Weinfuss. He does a great job. He's been covering the team for a long time. This portion of the show is brought to you by Biggs American Bar and Grill. We're there every Monday night, right there at the P83, which is located at 83rd Avenue and Bell Road. We do our show from 1 to 4. Then we stick around for Monday Night Football. And at halftime, 20 people are picked to roll the dice for $10,000. Next game Monday will be Bears and Commanders. All right, the fallout continues here in the desert. We just talked a little bit about it, but now you will hear Jonathan Gannon. He faced some tough questions yesterday in the presser. Plus, you'll hear how he addressed the sideline exchange with DeMarcado, and then his thoughts on Marvin Harrison Jr. being vanished from the offense. So that's all coming up next right here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio Phoenix.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs! Right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Crest Insurance is about more than providing coverage. It's about creating your safety net, personal, reliable, and supportive. We offer access to a national network of trusted carriers. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, we're here to help with a personal touch that's close to home. With Crest, you're not only protecting what matters most, but also helping to build stronger, more resilient communities. Crest Insurance, service you can count on.
It's back. Sign up now for the Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B annual Pro Football Pick'em contest, powered by all 5 Twin Peaks locations. Pick the winners each week, score great prizes all season long, and earn bragging rights until next year. And don't forget, the guys are live every Thursday from 1 to 4 to kick off your football weekend at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks lodges. It's free to play and easy to join. Just head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com. Powered by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views, and your home for pro football.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Lerner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Lerner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Lerner and Rose is the way to go.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner and Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Lerner and Rose is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Attention golf lovers and putting enthusiasts. Are you ready to elevate your game? At Putting World, we've got cutting-edge technology that'll have you sinking putts like a pro. With high-tech simulators and expert coaches, you'll be on your way to mastering that tricky 6-footer in no time. Check us out at puttingworld.com. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or a newbie who thinks a hole-in-one is just a fancy donut, there's a place for you at Putting World. Eat it, drink it, sink it. Putting World.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per-person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with the perfect plan to ensure everyone's well-fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venencias.com.
Now it's time for our Replay Rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in Replay Rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD-2.
All right, we got some Cardinals presser reaction we're going to get to here in a moment. Some Monday night quick highlights and some baseball, and it has to do with former Arizona State coach, not manager, Pat Murphy. I don't understand that. Where in college, they're not called a manager. They're called a coach. Which I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start with where do I want to go here? Let's go with first. Here's Jonathan Gannon addressing that emotional sideline moment that he had with Mari DeMarcado after that costly fumble and how he handled it as a coach.
I woke up this morning and didn't feel great about it, honestly. And so in the team meeting, I addressed it. I apologized to Omari, apologized to the team. And I just told him I kind of let the the moment of what happened get the better of me there. Obviously, like I try to be emotionally stable and calm because my job is to solve problems when during a game and kind of lead the charge on that. So it's not really who I am, who I want to be. And I told the guys that today. So it's a mistake by me. And it's just like everybody in there. Everybody made some type of mistake yesterday, which is, culminates to why we didn't win the game. And we can't let it happen moving forward.
I disagree. I don't think he needed to apologize to the team, nor do I believe he needed to apologize to DeMercado. Look, it was in the heat of the moment. It was a bonehead play. He reacted to it. DeMercado's a man. Take it like a man. You screwed up big time. They didn't cut you. You're still on the team. You still have a paycheck and a job. I don't think there was any need for an apology. And for the life of me, I don't like it when coaches do that. He could have just gone to DeMercado and said something to the effect by himself. Like before the team meeting, he could have said, hey, look, I got into it with you yesterday. It was in the heat of the moment. Boom. That's all you needed to say, and everything is good. If you're a player, you cannot take that personal. I don't know if DeMercado did, but I'm of the ilk. I don't think he needed to apologize.
I couldn't agree more. I would grab his helmet. You could grab his helmet. You can yell at him.
Yeah.
These kids, let's call them what they are, kids. They're enabled. And that's the problem with our society, with this younger generation. You do something wrong, you don't get penalized. When we grew up, you got smacked in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
You got the belt. You got the wooden spoon. They don't do that anymore.
No.
I mean, and not saying you need to hit anybody, but, for him to get fired up at him for making a bonehead mistake, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yell, scream, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll remember it. It'll never happen again.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm listening to some of the other guys, next door and, all around, and they're like, he needed to apologize. No, he didn't.
No, I totally disagree.
I don't even think he needed to go say, I'm sorry. It was heated. I would have just continued to get in his face and say, you really screwed up. I don't care. 24 hours later, you still screwed up.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed. And you cost us the game. You cost us the game.
That play, yes.
Because they would have been up 2 scores.
That's correct. That's
all
correct.
right. He also, that being Jonathan Gannon, also weighed in one of the hot topics on Sunday, and that was why Marvin Harrison basically disappeared from the offense.
Got to keep getting the ball to our playmakers. I would say that.
Look,
Thanks.
What else can you say? They screwed up big time. The offense was atrocious, just terrible. And to be honest with you, he is the number 4 pick in the NFL draft last season. And they still don't go to him enough. I mean, look, just take a cue from ASU. Who do they throw the ball to? Jordan Tyson. I don't care if they throw it to him 10 times during the game. You have a guy that you thought was going to be an absolute star. This is his 2nd year. It should be a breakout season for Marvin Harrison Jr., and so far, it's just average. There's nothing special about it yet. Come on. Let the guy throw the football to the so-called number 1 pick that you had last season.
And perhaps the biggest admission from head coach Jonathan Gannon is that he and the offensive coordinator, Drew Penzick, didn't love that final 3rd and 8 play call, which many believe was the reason why the Cardinals lost.
Yeah, I talked to Drew about it. I think we got to put our guys in a little bit better spot there. We were expecting one thing. They didn't give it to us. I could have used the time out there. That's something I could have did a little bit better because I know he didn't really love the call either. So it's something that we talked about, and we got to put our guys in better spots.
All right. Why didn't Kyler check out of it? If he saw the call, if he got the call.
Is he allowed to?
We should be. He's a 7-year veteran. He should be allowed to check out of it. If he walks up toward the line of scrimmage and saw the defense, and you just heard Jonathan Gannon say that, well, they had a good defense for it, well, then check out of it. Are you telling me that Mahomes last night didn't check out of plays? Are you telling me that Trevor Lawrence last night didn't check out of plays when he saw something? You're the freaking star of the team. That is your responsibility. You can tell the coach afterwards if it didn't work. Coach, I saw something, I checked out, and unfortunately it just didn't work. Well, that's your responsibility because you are the star player and the guy who makes the offense go. If you see something, get the hell out of that play and go to something else.
All right, let's go to Monday Night Football and the play that flipped the game. Devin Lloyd goes 99 yards the other way for a pick six to give Jacksonville the lead.
Second down. Picked off. Lloyd again. Devin Lloyd. What a year. Still rolling. Down the sideline. One man to beat. Lloyd. Pick six.
That's awesome. It was awesome. It was great.
It's awesome.
And here's the deal. Because Mahomes, I don't think he ever saw him. And to be honest with you, and it brought back something that took place right at State Farm Stadium. And you remember Russell Wilson getting picked in the end zone where everybody thought they should have run Marshawn Lynch. It's the same sort of play. And I don't think that Mahomes saw him. And I think he thought it was going to be six. He let it go, and Lloyd just stepped in and took it the distance.
All right, here's Patrick Mahomes taking responsibility for the mistake after the game.
Yeah, I mean, they just got me with the coverage that they played. They had played zero kind of inside that 10-yard area in previous games, and they hadn't shown the poppers with the linebackers popping out when they were protected. And I think back to a game against Cincinnati early in the year that they had Jamar Chase kind of on a slant route, and so I saw the look and I checked to the play with the in routes, having three ends, knowing that they were going to try to pass off the guys, and Juju was going to pop wide open, and he did. But the credit to, I mean, they schemed themselves, and they kind of looked over what they could do better, and they popped right underneath where I was throwing the ball. And so it was a great call by them defensively, and obviously a great play by Zero getting the pick. And then I got to find a way to tackle him or slow him down after he gets the interception.
So Patrick Mahomes breaking it all down as he always does. You got to give him one. He's class. He's class. All right, let's get to the game winner. And here's Trevor Lawrence's go-ahead touchdown. This was the difference as he stumbled, he recovered, and he found the end zone for the go-ahead score.
First and goal with 30 seconds left. Now Lawrence goes down, has to get up, breaks a tackle, touchdown Jacksonville.
2-yard touchdown there, and here's Trevor on how that play unfolded.
Yeah, we had a good goal line play that we liked off a little play action, and but never got to see it because I was going down as I came out of the center. So, I mean, I'm just panic, honestly, because I was trying to get up to get the ball out of my hands. The clock, I mean, we didn't have any timeouts. So I was really going to just stand up and like launch it out of the back of the end zone. But then I had a little bit of a lane, so I took it and, scored from there.
You kind of.
Yeah, outstanding.
Great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Our little bonus here is from baseball.
Yeah.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy has a postseason tradition. He spends the first 5 minutes of his opening press conference personally greeting every media member and sometimes ending each interaction with a "God bless you."
All right, Jim, where are you from? Here. Yeah. God bless you. Good to have you. Who's next? You know me. I have my beard shorter now. All right. What's your name? Jared. Chance 6. Oh, I remember. You know me, I'm Thomas, CBS 58. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. As a former PR guy, I just think that's great. And Pat Murphy wasn't the easiest guy to get along with when he was at Arizona State, as the coach, head coach there. But he's come around quite a bit. So right now, Seattle and Detroit are in a rain delay. They have not gotten started yet. So it's raining in Detroit. So we'll see if that game gets underway. So good stuff there. Well, we'll continue on. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B today. No Manuch, as we're coming to you from the studios of ESPN Phoenix 620 and 98.7 HD-2.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
I'm Matt Lazarus. We start on the diamond where Game 3 of the ALCS between the Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers was scheduled for 1 p.m., but it is finally now underway after a lengthy weather delay, and that series is tied at 1 apiece. Over in the Bronx, the Toronto Blue Jays will look to finish off a 3-game sweep of the New York Yankees, with the first pitch of that one set for 5:08 p.m. Over in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals are still reeling from their historic collapse against the Tennessee Titans. They'll now look to turn the page and regroup as they head to Indianapolis to take on the red-hot Indianapolis Colts. This update is brought to you by Dos Equis Sun Devil Watch Party this Saturday, October 11th, 7 p.m. at Backyards Gilbert as Arizona State heads to Salt Lake City to face a tough Utah team. Incredible Dos Equis drink specials, plus at halftime, 25 people will roll the dice for $10,000.
Life's a sprint, and you need a quick pick-me-up. Meet G2G protein bars, the ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether you're hustling in the office, enjoying a day on the links, or conquering the daily grind, G2G is your perfect fuel. Score an 8-pack at your local Costco's refrigerated section, or explore amazing flavors at G2Gbar.com. Quick, delicious, and power-packed. G2G protein bars, setting the pace for your energetic lifestyle.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Join the team at the largest towing company in the state, All City Towing. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service personnel. Enjoy benefits like the state's most advanced towing equipment, set work schedules, a healthy 401k employer match, health benefits, employer paid life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Ready to take your career to the next level? Visit us at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is on the move.
Mondays belong to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Live from Biggs America Bar and Grill in Peoria. The guys broadcast every Monday from 1 till 4, right in P83, across from the Peoria Sports Complex at 83rd Avenue in Bell. Then stick around as they host that night's football game. Food, drinks, prizes, and a shot at cash. That's right. Each week, 20 fans get a chance to roll the dough for $10,000. $10,000. Mondays, Biggs Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Be there.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Let's get back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
There are times where he has checks. He did not have one there. Just the play that came in did not have a check on.
What percentage of the plays does he not have a check on?
I mean, that would be very different from game to game.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I can't help it, Rock.
Yeah, this is a head scratcher.
This is
Drew
terrible.
Penzig, offensive coordinator, spoke to the media today. We had Just Weinfuss on earlier.
Yeah.
He was there. We just got some of the sound. Connor was quick to get it, so we're going to share that right now. We have not heard it yet, so you're getting this in real time as we are. So here is the OC responding to why he ran the ball on 3rd and 8.
At the end of the day, anytime I make a call, I'm trying to go win the game. whether I'm putting the ball in Kyler's hands, whether I'm putting the ball in the back's hands and trusting the O-line, I think just based on the situation where we were, the down and distance, I didn't love the call. Felt like I put our guys in a tough spot and not happy with that.
Well, if you didn't love the call, why are you making that call? Why don't you put the ball in your 7th-year quarterback who makes $40 million a year and let him decide what would work? Look, you go to the line of scrimmage. This is high school stuff. If you have a seasoned QB, if your quarterback in high school is a senior who has played 2 to 3 years, you're going to trust that kid. Rock, it stinks that they do not trust Kyler Murray. It's screaming that to me right now.
Well, it could be because of this and his foot injury, which may have impacted the play calling.
It didn't have a huge effect on it, but there's definitely things on the call sheet. You're saying, all right, we got to kind of back burner that, or we got to stay away from that. That's definitely part of when a guy's dealing with something like that.
Wait a minute. It didn't have a huge effect? If it didn't have a huge effect, you mean you can't throw a pass 9 yards for a first down to your tight end, all-world tight end, and you're telling me, well, his foot injury, but it didn't have a huge effect. Well, wait a minute. What the hell is it? Either it bothered him and you took plays out because you felt that he couldn't make them work because of the foot injury, or it didn't have a huge effect. What the hell is it?
Let's keep piling on. Here's why Marv did not get as many touches in the second half.
A number of different things. Certain things they did in coverage, certain ways the game came up from a scheme standpoint, but I got to get him the ball. That's certainly on my mind.
Well,
yeah, it's on his mind.
Hello, McFly. McFly. Come on. I got to get him the ball. Rock, I'm losing my mind here. This is like 3rd grade boys PE. I got to get him the ball. I don't understand how it can be like this when you have a quarterback who is in his 7th season. We heard Josh Weinfuss say, hey, Kyler's a really smart guy. He handles everything. We heard him say that on this world-class radio program. And so now you're trying to simplify it by what you just – Can you play that for me one more time, Connor? Let me know when you have it ready. I cannot believe what the hell I am hearing from this press conference.
There are times where he has checks. He did not have one there.
Why not?
Just the play that came in did not have a check on.
Why the hell didn't it have a check?
Does he not have a check on?
I mean, that would be very different from game to game.
No, it's not different. It's freaking football. You walk out onto the field and you play. Why can't your QB
play to win the game?
Yes, thank you. Why can't your QB check out of it if he doesn't like it? He's looking at the line of scrimmage. He sees what the defense is offering up, and you're telling me he cannot check out of it? Dude, why don't you work on radio and let me come over and be the OC?
Be careful what you ask for.
I would take that gig in a heartbeat. How many millions would I be making?
It's not about the money. It's about wins.
I certainly would have my quarterback checking out.
All right, here's one more. If there were enough plays called in which Marvin Harrison Jr. was the primary read.
I felt that way during the game. Going back and looking at it, I think there's maybe a couple things I could have done differently here and there, and you're always going to feel that way when you come out of a game. But, he had 5 for, I think, 98 yards and almost a touchdown. So I feel like he had an impact on the games. I, wanted to get him the ball more there towards the end and needed to.
No, that was early in the game. That was he was in the game.
Yeah, early.
First
half.
Yeah, and then you never saw him again. It was like he went to the men's room and never came out.
I think I think it's pretty interesting that they even brought Pensick out to talk to the media.
I was shocked.
I mean, that's a change.
Yeah.
It's not every Tuesday we get to hear from the offensive coordinator.
I can't believe that they paraded him out there.
Maybe they did that on purpose so people could hear him.
Make a fool out of himself?
Well, I don't know about make a fool out of himself, but maybe now, the front office, whoever needs to make the call. Who knows?
I know.
This organization does things differently than
a
lot of them.
I'm with you.
And maybe there was a reason why they brought him out.
Okay.
Maybe this takes off less pressure off Coach Gannon because Gannon's not going anywhere.
No.
It's easier to move an OC than it is a head coach.
Agree.
But do you make a move now? Do you look at, I think we talked about yesterday is the bye week would make the most sense if this team, so because if they knock off Indy and they knock off Green Bay, we're going to forget this game.
That is correct. But I don't believe that is going to happen. I mean, that's all well and good if you look at
Nobody believed that the Titans were going to come in here and win.
Well, no, we did. No, well, of course, Manuch didn't.
Well,
he thought they were the JV team.
Yeah.
I said on the show, and you remember this when I brought it up yesterday, what if Tennessee came in here and won the game?
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
I talked about too, and I took the points. Again, I'm scratching my head that they even put out Penzing to talk.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did. I really am. I think the fact that,
well, we got it from the horse's mouth.
You prayed him out there, and he asked, I think the media asked some good questions, and I think, Penzing, of course, he's going to doubt what he did, because here's the thing. What if they, all right, it's 3rd and 8. What if they did throw the ball and it was incomplete?
Okay.
Then what's the narrative then? Why? Because why did he run the ball in 3rd and 8?
Punt.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
If Amari DeMarcado doesn't fumble going into the end zone,
the game's over.
Then what's the narrative? Because
Yes.
now there was 3 rushing touchdowns in the first half, a long one in the second half. I think Coach Petzing has a really different outlook on the Monday if he has that touchdown go in instead of being fumbled.
And look, if my aunt had a sack, she'd be my uncle. Okay? I'm telling you right now, it didn't. You got to live in reality. You got to live in the now. This is what it is. I hate it when people say, well, what if he scored? He didn't score. It was a touchback.
You just made the best of. Yes. About December 18th, 19th, we'll have the best of, and the sack comment will make it. Guaranteed. I'm usually one that likes to pile on, and I'm not. I don't know why, because I just think that this team is not as good as I think people thought they were going to be.
That's fair.
I do feel bad that they've lost 3 straight last second, heartbreaking field goals. I mean, that just sucks. But it is 5 games into the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the first quarter is over. And if they could go in and take care of Indy, Indy is not going to take them light, but I'm sure they saw what happened.
Right.
And I'm sure the coaching staff for the Indianapolis Colts are going to say, hey, look, these last 3 games, they could have won.
That is correct.
But the other flip side of that is they could have lost to Carolina. They could have lost to New Orleans. Those games were New Orleans came back in that game.
They did come back in that
Carolina did too.
Yep. Look,
so there's a major problem here with this team trying to close out games.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big narrative.
I think that the Colts will not just get off the bus and walk in. You just can't do that in the NFL.
Yeah.
And yesterday's game or Sunday's game obviously proves that. And then New Orleans won. They hadn't been in the win column, and they won on Sunday as well. Came back and won that game. Spencer Rattler played well in that contest. Look, here's the thing about the NFL, and we always laugh about it, but it is so true. Any given Sunday, it is any given Sunday. You don't know what is going to take place. However, you're going to walk into Indianapolis where the Colts have Indiana Jones now at quarterback, and they are rolling. They have one of the best running backs in the NFL in Jonathan Taylor. He's just tearing it up. I'm not going to say it's going to be a bloodbath, but it has a possibility of being a bloodbath.
Drew Penzing is brought to you by G2G Protein Bars. You can find them in the refrigerator section at Costco and online at g2gbar.com. Grab and go goodness since 2010 and on sale at Costco. All right, a Learning Row 1 call, that's all. It will be Josh Weinfuss talking about Kyler and the checkdowns. And we'll also have our results of our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question, which we'll do it one more time. Do you feel it's time for the Cardinals to make a change at offensive coordinator? Yes, the offense is stagnant. No, it's just poor execution. 3, give it 2 more games, then decide. 4, play the season out. Don't make a change mid-year. So those are your 4 choices. You can go to our X or Instagram and you can vote there. And as always, we thank Stay 48 Roofing for their partnership. We'll continue from the ESPN Phoenix studios. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Craving sushi with a twist? Welcome to Rock Lobster, Chandler's vibrant and trendy sushi destination, where energy meets elegance. From bold wok-fire dishes to creative handcrafted rolls and cocktails, every bite brings the flavor. Every visit brings the vibe. Join us for lunch, dinner, or happy hour Monday through Friday, or even a date night. Find us at Price and Queen Creek in Ocotillo. That's Rock Lobster, where sushi gets social.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Turner and Rose is the way to go.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Looking for the center of activity? Welcome to the Hub Grill and Bar in Ahwatukee, where the community comes together for food, fun, and the big game. With wall-to-wall big screens, mouth-watering burgers, wings, and an incredible lineup of local and craft beers, the Hub is where every guest feels like a VIP. Find us at Ray Road and 50th Street in Ahwatukee. Open daily for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. The Hub Ahwatukee, your neighborhood center of activity.
There's never been a better time to experience Sun Devil football. Pressure coming, Levitt throwing for the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown by Jordan Tyson. The Levitt to Tyson connection clicks again. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action, tradition, and unmatched atmosphere at Mountain America Stadium this season. Get your Sun Devil football tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
It's time to make plans to join Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B for another Dos Equis Sun Devils watch party. ASU hits the road to face Utah Saturday, October 11th at Backyard Gilbert. This is your ultimate tailgate. Elevated bar favorites in the game on massive LED walls. And at halftime, 25 fans get a shot to roll for dough for $10,000. See you there, Sun Devil fans. All season long at Backyard Desert Ridge and Backyard Gilbert.
Driving high can get you a DUI. Instead of getting behind the wheel, designate a sober driver or rideshare. In Arizona, drug-impaired driving is illegal, even if the drug is legal. So drive sober or not at all. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving, since drugs slow your reaction time and cloud your judgment. If you feel different, you drive different. Visit drivesober.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe voted Arizona's best law firm.
I was actually a little surprised by that answer. The way I always understood this offense is that they have Hassan checks on every play. And obviously that's wrong, right? I was not expecting that answer from Drew today because of kind of how I've understood this offense to be built. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, especially with a guy like Kyler, like you said, he's been in this league 7 years. He's a veteran. He's very football savvy. He's a very high football IQ. I think that giving him that authority to just make these plays, I kind of expected that to be on every play, but apparently it's not. So I was a little surprised by that.
Josh Weinfuss from ESPN.com. Speaking of ESPN, Adam Schechter is reporting that the Arizona Cardinals internally fined Jonathan Gannon $100,000 over his sideline altercation with running back Amari DeMarcado, excuse me.
That's all right.
So still waiting for a story from Associated Press for NFL.com, but right now Adam Schechter is reporting that.
Okay. I don't think it was about the outburst. It was about the contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's about.
So is this a NFLPA thing, that reason why the Cardinals did it? Or Will we hear the NFL come down next? Is that
I think
good enough?
I think that'll probably be good enough for the NFL. I think that would satisfy them if they considered anything. I think the NFL would be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm curious if they got pressure from the National Football League to do it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Taking the high road.
Yes.
If it's internal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very fluid. Just hit, and more information we have if we're out of here a little bit. But I'm sure Gambo next door will have it. So when we're done here, jump over to 98.7. And
it doesn't.
Gambo.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, Rock, that they did something like that, especially after we had Josh on the show, and he referenced the fact that coaches and players should not have that contact. That's disrespectful. And when I originally saw it, I had absolutely no issue with Gannon going over and getting in the player's face. It bothered me a little bit because it was in real time on the sideline, and I haven't looked at it since then about the kind of the brush. It looked like he hit him on the arm, and I really didn't think that much about it. But when Josh spoke about it, then it made more sense to me. And I have a feeling that the Cardinals got pressure from the NFL. So now it's over and done with.
Well, it is, sort of. So Gannon apologizes. We know that.
Yeah.
The video footage, shows the heated moment, getting in his face and possibly making contact. So I guess there was some contact.
Yes.
We know the NFLPA reportedly is reviewing the incident, and they're considering whether to open an investigation, but maybe they already did, and that's why this $100,000 came down.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's interesting that, the no statement has come out yet. So once we get the statement from the team or from the NFL, it's confirming the fine.
Mm-hmm.
But typically when Amschechter sends something out, it's pretty much right on.
Right. It generally is. Look, you have in the heat of the moment, you have those things take place. I've seen coaches and players go after each other constantly. That is happening.
Let me ask you this, because yesterday there was somewhat of a narrative from a lot of people we talked to that said, you would fire him. You would fire DeMarcado for what he did. You would kick him off the team. Coach Ryan on Get Up, Craig Fouie. I mean, all the guests we had all had said that they all kind of felt the same way. If that would have happened and then the fine still came down, I mean, there's two parts of it. It's the bonehead drop,
right?
But then there's the altercation with the head coach.
Yes.
So there's two things really that you get upset about. But I don't think DeMarcado said anything to Gannon.
No, no, I'm with you on that. And I'm going to take the other side of the coin. And even though it was a bonehead play and you made your statement, I'm not firing the guy.
Yeah.
I think that he has proved his worth as a backup running back, and he knows the system inside and out. All the reports that we had, he's a terrific kid and loves playing the game and is solid in the locker room. He made a goober of a mistake, a big-time goober of a mistake, and he's paying the price for it. But to just exit him out, look, you got two running backs that aren't playing. Benson's gone. So's James Conner. He's gone for the year. You are down to those running backs. I'm not kicking them off the team.
Hey, our Learner Row one call, that's all, is always brought to you by the guys. In a wreck, need a check, make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. The Mariners-Tigers game, which was supposed to first pitch at 1:08 on FS1, is still in a rain delay. Hopefully they're expecting to get going in about a half hour. Blue Jays and Yankees will get underway at 5:00. And what channel did they move it to from FS1?
They moved the Yankees game remains on Fox Sports 1, and the Mariners game with the Tigers will move to Fox Sports 2.
Okay. And opening night for NHL, Chicago and Florida are tied at 2.
Great game.
Late in the second.
Great game.
Very great game as the defending champions hoist their banner. 2 more games today. So ESPN has a triple header of hockey. So hockey is underway. NBA will be underway here in a little bit. Suns are over in China.
Wow.
So I think they'll play on Friday.
Let me ask you this then. You've gone overseas to Europe. You have made that long distance flight. Now they went to China, which is even farther. But when you make that long distance flight, do you hold up okay on the plane? Does it bother you to sit around that long?
It sucks.
Okay. That's what I wanted to find
it
out.
absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
Like I just did I went to Italy recently to go to the Ryder Cup.
Right.
And I was fortunate on the way there to have one of those, the bed and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
On the way back, I didn't.
Okay.
And it's a little longer coming back, and it was a nightmare. I mean, it's frustrating. It sucks. It's, I would love to go to Dubai. I think it'd be cool just to see it.
Just to see it.
But I don't want to take 2 days on a plane to get there. Just no thanks.
I'm not a white knuckler because of all the flying that I have done in my career.
But you're lucky. You can just get in the jump seat, get in the middle. You don't need a lot of room.
Well, actually, I get to ride next to the flight attendant, which is even better. So, but what I'm saying is I've flown cross country a lot, but after that 4.5 hours, I am so ready to get off.
Everybody
I
is.
am ready to get out of that
enjoy it,
tube.
Jimmy? I mean, you think anybody, oh man, let's go for a plane ride for 5-6 hours.
Not my idea of a good time.
Hey, score tickets to the Cards at Rams January 4th game at SoFi Stadium. We have 2 tickets, hotel at the Westin, plus cash for airfare, or if you're going to drive. We've teamed up with Twin Peaks. All you got to do is scan the QR code at any of the 5 Twin Peaks, or you can just text right now, Peaks, to 59925. That's Peaks to 59925. It's our Twin Peaks Gridiron Getaway. This week we'll be at Tempe on Thursday, but tomorrow, anxious to go out to the Hub, which is located there in Ahwatukee.
Yep.
As it's
Ray
your
Road and
watering
50th.
hole. It's Jimmy B's watering hole. So I think
It's a good
cool.
spot.
Oh,
Great
hey, real
spot.
quick.
Yeah.
Let's, Connor, if you don't mind, give me the results real quick to the State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question as we exit here. The question was, do you feel it's time for the Cards to make a change in offensive coordinator? Yes, no, give it 2 more games, or play a season out?
It looks like people voted 75% saying yes, offense is stagnant, get them out. Only 25% said no, just poor execution.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Campus Quickies tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. The usuals. Tim Kempton will join us as well. I'm sure Michael Bankston will be on. That's a go-to for Manuch. Our resident booker. I don't know what it is with you old guys. You don't like change.
Hey, don't put me in that
I'm
category.
surprised we got Josh today.
I'm just old.
I was like,
That's
great.
all. Don't put me in that don't like change category.
For Connor, for Laz,
Jeez.
for Jimmy B.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Made the best of today. I'm Rock. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Don't forget everything at rockmanuch.com, and make sure you take care of us and subscribe on YouTube.